Do you trust your first impressions? Almost everyone says yes, until they're betrayed by a detail the eyes can't catch. In Alexandria, in an oil-lit hall, Ptolemy IV Philopator decided to prove that Stoics could stumble too. At the table, an inconvenient guest, Spherus of Borysthenes, a direct disciple of Zeno and Cleanthes. The topic was pure provocation. Does the wise man give an opinion on what he is not certain of? The king smiled like someone who already had the answer in his pocket. In the corner, servants waited for the signal. The game wasn't between fruit and dishes. It was between appearance and judgment. To understand what was at stake, two Stoic concepts matter greatly. First, assent. You don't control the impression that arrives, but you control the moment you say, "It is so." Second, the difference between a cognitive impression, clear, reliable, and a merely reasonable impression, plausible, but prone to error. The wise man avoids giving opinion when the fog is thick. He acts on what is reasonable without swearing allegiance too soon. Sounds like a technical detail? It's the centimeter that separates life-saving decisions from those that burn everything down. Then comes the scene. Perfect pomegranates are placed on the table. Vivid color, flawless shape, convincing weight. Spherus observes, approaches, considers. Everything seems like fruit. The king, watching, waits for the assent. When Spherus assents to the appearance, at the level of plausibility, Ptolemy snaps his fingers. They were made of wax. Laughter. Got you. You assented to something false. But the Stoic doesn't blink. I did not assent that they were pomegranates. I assented that it was reasonable that they were pomegranates. This is where the trap collapses. Spherus separates the seems from the is, and, in doing so, separates prudence from presumption. Hold on to that phrase, reasonable that they were. In Greek, the term is eulogon, the plausible. It's not wordplay, it's a method. The Stoic doesn't live frozen in skepticism. He acts on what is reasonable and keeps the door open to correct himself when the truth arrives. If the evidence changes, he changes. If the illusion falls, he doesn't fall with it, because he never swore it was, only recognized it seemed. This way of thinking saves pride, money, friendship, and nights of sleep. It's a vaccine against the theater of certainties. Notice the malice of the experiment. The illusion was triple: visual, perfect form; tactile, convincing weight; and social, the whole court watching. It was set so that anyone would bite the bait and swallow the shame. Spherus walks this mental corridor with the oldest Stoic trick, separating appearance from reality before opening his mouth. He doesn't distrust the world, he just doesn't marry it on the first date. The result, a palace prank turns into a public lesson in self-government. And, as a bonus, teaches that courage is also saying, "I don't know yet," without losing the ability to act. But did this really happen? Yes. The story was recorded by Diogenes Laertius and echoed in other ancient traditions. Modern scholars use it to explain the so-called reasonable impression. Spherus's background is also historical. He studied with Zeno and Cleanthes, advised Cleomenes III in Sparta, and later lived at the Ptolemaic court in Alexandria, the perfect stage for tests of vanity and method. This isn't a motivational fable. It's a source. And how does this step down from marble into your daily life? Turn it into a protocol. Before the is, pass through the seems. Perfect headline? Seems true. Act cautiously. Ask for the source. Check the context. Hold back the verb, I affirm. Irresistible offer? Seems great. Adjust your exposure. Buy small. Test. Read the fine print. Heated conversation? Seems like an insult. Breathe. Ask. Check the intention. sleep on it. In all cases, you move without mortgaging your reputation. If you need to backtrack, you don't break your spine. You never swore, you evaluated. Want a simple yardstick? Use Spherus's 3P. Perceive, name the impression. From what I know now, it seems X. Prove, seek a verifiable fact. Primary link, document, witness. Provision, act provisionally. Minimum necessary that respects the risk. Post with a disclaimer. Pilot purchase, neutral reply. This 3P doesn't make you cold, it makes you free. And for the Stoic, freedom isn't doing whatever you want. It's wanting what reason commands while the rest of the room shouts certainty. There is training for this. The Stoics called it prosoke, vigilant attention. The habit of catching, in the act, the difference between impression and assent. The image comes, the emotion comes, the ready-made story your mind invents comes. Before stamping it, you open a half-second gap and ask, what exactly do I know? It may seem small, but that half-second undoes half the misunderstandings of a lifetime. You can practice it, journaling at the end of the day, reviewing where you confused seems with is, pre-commitments in writing, if I haven't checked X, I don't publish, and a checklist for costly decisions. Another part of the mechanism, the cognitive impression, cataleptic fantasia. When it becomes clear, when it passes the test of time and verification, the seems becomes is. Spherus didn't say nothing is certain. He said that until it is certain, action is provisional. This humility protects your word and your wallet. The risk of burning your tongue drops, and respect rises again. In the end, it's about character, promising only what you can sustain when the lights come on. There's also a psychological layer to the scene. Ptolemy wanted to expose the philosopher. He ended up exposing the mechanism of illusion. Those who want to push you into a hasty yes usually set the stage with three elements: short time, an audience, and a technical detail most people miss. The Stoic response is always the same: don't fight the theater, discipline the assent. You don't control the other's trick. You control the trigger inside yourself. That's where the fortress no one can seize lies. And the parallel to today is direct. Well-edited video, perfect crop, impressive number, looks like ripe fruit. The Stoic gesture isn't to close your eyes, it's to act at the right level. Mark as plausible, find the primary source, avoid staking your reputation on what is still appearance. When confirmation fails, you step back without drama. You didn't marry the illusion. When confirmation arrives, you speak out. Now, on solid ground. Less noise, more understanding. Less anxiety, more command. The curiosity may be obscure, but the message is crystal clear. Stoic freedom begins with assent. Those who control their own yes don't become hostages to appearances, headlines, tricks, or their own ego. Spherus didn't make a speech or ask for the spotlight. He practiced clarity. Instead of rushing to be right, he chose to be fair to the evidence. The result: a life with fewer bursts of hot air and more decisions that stand the test of time. Let's be honest, that's worth more than winning an instant argument and losing peace for weeks. Before you go, here's a simple challenge. Choose a decision this week and write 2 versions of it. One with is and one with seems. List what's missing for seems to become is, and make that verification. At work, in finances, in relationships, the pattern repeats. When the light is poor, those who survive are the ones who know to wait a step and act at the right level. This doesn't make you slow, it makes you precise. And precision is the only luxury that pays for itself. Did you enjoy this story? If you liked the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and comment below. Which part struck you most, and in what situation will you use seems before is? This way you help spread applicable philosophy, and I'll bring more obscure Stoic accounts that challenge the mind and refine character. If it made sense to you, share it with someone who's been biting into wax pomegranates. It might be the push they need to swap haste for wisdom.